and welcome to Arcadian Revival's potting porch. We found this dry sink a couple of years ago, and it's a great little spot to come floral arranging with the birds and the fountain in the background without bringing all the mess inside. So today I'm going to walk you through a very quick and simple June arrangement just using what we have grown here in our gardens. The first thing I'm going to do, and something that I love to use when making floral arrangements, is to pick a pedestal vessel that I have. This was something that we've had with us since our wedding, actually. We bought this for our reception and had little custom matches as wedding favors placed in them at the end of the evening. But today we're using them for flowers. So I'm going to start with one of my flower frogs that I have here. I'm going to pour a little bit of water into the vessel, just enough to start to work and keep everything wet. And then to protect the glass, I went and I took some of our hosta leaves that have already filled in so that you have something natural just to place in the barrier. And I'm going to pick off the ends of the stems here. And I'm just going to start to press these down. They don't have to be perfect. What I'm doing is placing a natural organic barrier between the flower frog and the bottom of the glass. So whenever you switch out your water, you can go ahead and replace these. If you use something that is a little bit woodier, it might last a little bit longer. I'm going to use these today because this is what we have on hand, and I think they're a lovely, bright, beautiful shade of green. And I'm ready for some sunshine because it has been a rainy season here. When we had originally thought about putting together a video to share with you today, we were ready to highlight one of our favorite seasons in the garden, peony season. And if you've heard me talk about or read anything that I've written before, you know that transplanting some of my grandmother's heirloom peonies from Ohio to New York is a garden highlight that we look forward to in June. But alas, they are not ready yet. And so one of the takeaways today, and I'm just going to set this right down in the middle of the leaves. One of the takeaways today is with the peonies not being ready yet, it forced me to go and look a little bit deeper and further into creating something a little bit more organic and different than what I originally had anticipated. And that's one of my favorite things about doing floral design, is going out and not just seeing what's in season in your garden. I inherited a lot of these purples and pinks here on our property, thinking about what other colors I want to add as I plan future phases of our gardens. But then also just taking note of what we can forage. I thought I was just about done, and then I went back out and I added some beautiful ferns from the edge of our property and some rhododendrons. And so this is what the dish looks like. It looks like almost a sunflower from the base. It's actually a pretty view. And I'm going to start with a few of our bearded irises that we have. We probably have close to a half a dozen varieties of different irises. And these are just stunning. So I'm going to start with a little bit of height and volume right in the center here, and then I'll be able to fill everything in as we get a little bit lower. We'll let everything cascade. This is a slightly different variety, a little bit daintier. And I'm going to highlight this too. This is the only one that I cut. And I have a hard time sometimes thinking about what I want to cut from the gardens because I enjoy looking at them outside just as much as I enjoy having them inside. And there's the extra benefit of all of our pollinators benefiting from them being in our gardens as well. And we had a number of different bees and happy garden spiders here as well. And now I'm just going to very organically start to layer in a few of the different pieces that I have in front of me. We're at the end of our Spirea here, and we have several bushes, and something that I love about these is they look pretty even as they're nearing the end of their season, is that a lot of people, one of their common names is Bridal Wreath or Bridal Veil. And at some point over the years, I don't know if it was growing up with my mother or a generation before, we started calling them wedding veil. And then I started timing my wedding shower and baby showers around when they would be in bloom. And I love that we have taken ownership and developed our own little common name for a plant. I'd love to hear if your family or if you have heard of any folks that do the same. I think it's a really special part of gardening, and it's what our children know them as well. So this gives me a sense of, I'm starting up here. This is what the wedding veil might end up doing. And then I just think about how I'm going to fill in a few more pieces. All right, so I filled most of this vessel in with what I have, and I saved a few favorites for the end. This is rhododendron from the end of our property. Now I'm taking most of the leaves off. These are usually clipped a little bit shorter by the nature of the branches, and so this is going to be something that sits a little bit lower and fills out the bottom of our arrangement today. Look how beautiful that is. I went ahead and found a few different species of ferns. I always love placing a few different types of ferns together so that folks can slow down and not just recognize, oh, that looks like a fern, but oh, wow, there are different types of ferns that grow in this ecosystem. So again, I'm just removing a few of these leaves, not all of them, some that have browned a bit. We'll add another one opposite on this side. And then toward the end here, I'm not sure how many I'll need to use for this arrangement. I have gone ahead and cut off some Solomon's seal. So you see, this is nice. It has a beautiful curvature like the Spirea, but it's a little bit sturdier. So we'll be able to play with that in a different way. And right here at the end, I'm going to think about how we can more loosely integrate the remaining irises. In a way that feels really special. This is going to be set in the center of our dining table, and so I want to make sure that it looks as good on my side as it looks on yours. And so you can see the other end. Oh, just breathtaking. You can see how lovely this is filled out. Solomon's seal, and then we're going to be finished. There are a few of these that are a little daintier than the others, and I think I'll stick with some of the smaller branches. And you can tell that we've now also completely filled out the bottom of this vase. There's nothing that looks bare or empty about it, and really it's just the curvature of these branches and selecting a variety of different plants that are going to stand up straight and bend in different ways. And so creating this as some type of centerpiece that looks like it's really cascading over the vessel. How about that? I'll play around with it a little bit once I set it in place, but pretty simple. Happy gardening.